everyone, and welcome to the StarCityGames.com Cincinnati Open Weekend, part of Season 2 of the SCG Tour, brought to you by the wonderful people over at Ultimate Guard. It's Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan. We are here in the booth, Nick Miller down in the feature match area as we prepare for our final match of the weekend. Colin's Mullen, #1 overall seed, with humans. Yes, humans of all shapes and sizes for him against Scott Simmons, playing Blue-Red Giftstorm. On one side of things, you have an unknown quantity. On the other, in Blue-Red Giftstorm, you have arguably the best deck in the format. However, for Scott, this is not a particularly good matchup. Thalia is one reason, Kitesail Freebooter is another, and you're about to find out why this matchup's not good.
Scott said that, all right, that's great. I want to give Scott a lot of credit here. I ran into him before this match started, and he told me Game 1, if he has Meddling Mage, he would just concede. Would not go to try to drag this out to some Electromancer Brawl beatdown sort of comedy fest. Good for him.
Less than a minute.
Scott, you're all right. I haven't watched you play a lot of Magic, but you're all right.
You all right.
You all right.
Meddling Mage naming Grape Shot is an auto win against the builds of Blue-Red Giftstorm, at least as they currently stand.
Yes.
In Modern. Now that might change after this tournament, but just like that, 2 lands, 1 spell. Colin's Mullen up a game here over Scott Simmons. Humans very quickly up a game here over Blue-Red Giftstorm. Now we're going to talk about what you talked about at the top here. Scott Simmons has 3 Bolts, 3 Empty the Warren, 3 Blood Moon, 2 Shattering Spree, 2 Dispel, an Echoing Truth, and a Dismember. And it's that 3-mana red enchantment that you've got a lot of interest in.
Yeah, the 3 Bolts and the Echoing Truth and the Dismember here, I think, are all fine for keeping his head above water and getting some of the more disruptive creatures off the battlefield. And then 3 Blood Moons. It looks really bad if Collins has a turn 1 Aether Vial. The card does not amount to much in that world, but if Mullins doesn't have it and Simmons is able to stick an early Blood Moon, he can steal games that way.
For Colin's side of thing, he's got a lot of creatures, obviously. His deck is all creatures, no spells besides Aether Vial, 2 Zathra Necromancer, 2 Aethersworn Canonist, 2 Vythian Renegades, 2 Fiend Hunter, 2 Aether Staticaster, 2 Tireless Tracker, that 4th Reflector Mage in the board, along with the Mirran Crusader, and an Anafenza the Foremost.
I think you'll just probably see the Canonist in the 1 copy of Anafenza. I don't think the game is going to go on long enough for Tireless Tracker to be part of it. Mirran Crusader, I suppose, could come in if you think it's a little bit faster than some of your other 3s, but Aethersworn Canonist, the top of the list here, the best creature he's bringing to the table, and Anafenza, also disruptive and fast.
Those are the options there for both players. Now, Game 1 was obviously a simplistic affair. That might change here in just a moment in this second and potentially 3rd game. So we'll see how things do shake out in just a bit. But one thing we do want to talk about here is Grand Prix Atlanta, which is a tournament being hosted by Star City Games here in just a couple of weekends. We got a lot coming down the pipeline, actually, with Star City. We got regionals, and go.starcitygames.com/regionals for more information there. But Grand Prix Atlanta with guest of honor, Therese Nielsen, Christine Sprinkle, one of many cosplayers that'll be joining us, an artist list out the wazoo, and Jeremy Noel split second in Commander versus Fame. We'll tell you more about that tournament right now.
On November 10th through the 12th, make plans to be part of Magic the Gathering history when StarCityGames.com proudly presents Grand Prix Atlanta. Play in the standard format main event to compete for thousands of dollars in prizes and a spot on the Magic the Gathering Pro Tour. Select the 3-day Infinite Challenge package to compete in all challenge events for one low price, while also walking away with the exclusive Sunblessed Mount playmat. Get the best of both worlds with the Main Event Plus package. Play in the main event, get the exclusive playmat, and compete in challenge events all weekend long. All Friday challenges are also Grand Prix trials. Come out early and compete for buys in the main event and more chances to claim a Sunblessed Mount playmat. Prefer 100-card formats? Register for the Ultimate Commander package to play in 4 Commander on-demand events and take home a Commander vs. playmat and Ultimate Guard Boulder deck case. Want to play on Magic's grandest stage? Compete in the Pro Tour qualifier on Sunday and receive a Progenitus foil promo just for playing, plus the chance for an invitation to Pro Tour Rivals of Ixalan in Bilbao, Spain. And don't forget to come say hello to Grand Prix Atlanta's many special guests, including cosplayer Christine Sprinkle and an artist alley full of fan favorites, headlined by guest of honor Therese Nielsen. Be part of Magic the Gathering history. Register for Grand Prix Atlanta today.
November 10th through the 12th, the Grand Prix Atlanta, hosted by StarCityGames.com. We hope to see each and every single one of you there for what should be a pretty good standard tournament, hopefully. Next weekend, of course, we'll have the Legacy Open in Washington, D.C. We'll talk about that a little bit more after game number 2, I'm sure. But for now, we turn our attention to Colin's Mullen and Scott Simmons. Scott Simmons conceding on turn 2 of the game. Knew he would be beat immediately by Meddling Mage, and he was. Colin's Mullen really starting to make a name for himself in the Magic community at this point. Runner-up at Grand Prix Washington, D.C. earlier this year. This is his 3rd SCG Tour top 8. He's got an invitational top 8 to his name as well, and he has demonstrated here with humans that a deck with all creatures and Ether Vial can certainly be good enough. Very much impressed by this deck.
So Anafenza not particularly disruptive here, but maybe faster than some other threats.
Yeah, I mean, if it's about racing, 3 mana 4/4 can cast it on turn 2.
And you got these 3 Reflector, although I suppose Reflector Mage is not the worst. There's spots where Simmons is going to cast a creature on 2 and try to get to turn 3. So even Reflector Mage is something.
It's not my favorite card, but it is something. See Scott's opening hand here. It looks like he may have boarded and empty the Warrens. How do you feel about that?
Not a huge fan. I mean, I can understand. You know, I'm just not going to be able to generate a huge storm count against this deck, but there's just so many 1/2s and first strikers, and you got to be able to empty for a lot.
We have a strange rewind. Okay. Yeah, Collins has already drawn his card, so. All right, we're good. That was, is what it is.
I don't know what that was all about.
Windswept Heath down to 19. See what land Collins wants to search up here. He's going to go with the basic planes.
Yeah, a little bit of protection here against Blood Moon.
Smart. Smart. See if it's a champion of the parish, perhaps. Yeah, it is. So there's the clock. It's pretty important as we go over to Scott. Spire Bluff Canal. There's Baral, Chief of Compliance. So things could get kind of nuts here very soon as we go over to Collins.
I mean, he's got Metamorphosis into Gifts.
Yep.
So he could be ready to go right away.
It's unclaimed territory. And it's Thalia Guardian of Thraben. He's going to slow down a little bit now. Pass that turn back. We're going to head over to Scott Simmons. Desperate Ritual to draw.
We've been so hung up on all the disruption that we barely mentioned Thalia is just part of this experience.
Yeah. Yeah. And though Champion of the Parish couldn't attack this turn, Baral being a 1/3 champion, currently a 2/2, it'll be able to likely attack next turn, as Mullins does have a copy of Meddling Mage in hand. See the hand there for Scott. He's got a Desperate Ritual, Manamorphose, Gifts Ungiven, Empty the Warrens, and it looks like another land.
But remember, all this stuff is net even right now.
Brawl makes it 1 less, Thalia makes it 1 more. So the casting cost that you see, Desperate Ritual, 2 mana, it's actually just 2 mana. Here's Manamorphose.
This is ambitious.
Yeah, I'm curious what the game plan is here. Draw a card, picked up a copy of Goblin Electromancer. I think he might just want to cast that and pass.
Yeah, probably. I guess the ceiling here is if he finds Grape Shot, it's really good.
Yeah.
If he finds Lightning Bolt, it could be good. But I doubt this is a Manamorphose here with the intent of actually like going this turn. It sets him up very well for next turn. Unless he...
So that costs... Yeah,
he's
he can,
-1.
Yeah, he can empty.
Oh, okay.
Manamorphose, this is for 8. Manamorphose, Electromancer, Desperate Ritual. Yeah, okay.
I mean, I guess. What does this amount to?
Yeah, I'm not terribly excited about it because these creatures really can't get through.
Yeah,
He's kind of just used all of his resources. He does have a gifts left over, which is nice, but I mean, these 8 goblins just really aren't much of a threat for Collins at this point.
Yeah, I just don't. Unless there's some follow-up plan here with the gifts, I just don't know where this leads.
Well, to me now, if I'm Collins, the only card I want to name with Meddling Mage is Gifts.
Right.
Nothing else matters at this point. If he draws a Bolt, sure, he's got a Bolt Meddling Mage.
Because he's out of material to work with.
Absolutely.
So the only way for him to be able to rebuild from this spot is with gifts. Yeah, I'm really skeptical of going to empty against a deck that just has so many 1/2s, 2/1 first strikers, 2/2s.
Free. We talked about earlier. Free
Freebooter,
Buddha being a
yeah.
1/2. It's a 1/2.
Right.
Yeah, I think this is just. I mean, we could even see Collins be happy to attack here potentially. I'm not entirely sure. He's kind of surveying the battlefield a little bit.
He's got enough in the air, I think, that he can afford to just hang back.
Also, any attacks that are made, I think Scott would just say, "I'll take it."
Yeah, I mean, he can't afford to trade off. He's got to just try to go wide and attack a few times, which is why if I'm Mullen, I'm just sitting back. I mean, there's no rush to do anything.
Colin's going to sacrifice a Windswept Heath. We saw him search up a Plains earlier. He's going to go get his Hallowed Fountain now, so maybe not. I was just kidding.
He's even brought in the Staticasters to cover.
Yeah, empty is just nah.
I wouldn't even. Yeah.
Nah. Not in this matchup.
I've covered a fair bit of Modern, the 2 tournaments of this now, and I've never seen this plan be good against decks with creatures.
Temple Gardener is battlefield untapped. Here's Noble Hierarch. It's going to grow Champion of the Parish. Follow up. Mayor of Haverbrook. So I'm a little surprised not to see Meddling Mage here. Hello.
Well, this is for 6.
Yeah, I guess
That's every. I mean, that's
basically every goblin.
that trading all of your resources for the 1-drop, I guess, is off the table here.
Yep. All right, pass that turn back. Let's go over to Scott. Scott's going to draw. He's got a land. He's doing this quick.
Well, remember, he's back to being on a discount. He's got 2 reducers against Athalia.
Mm-hmm. All right, so here's gifts. So the normal pile here is Pyretic, Desperate,
Metamorphose.
Pass and Flames. Yeah. So he's going to do this right away. So I'm pretty sure you just give him Metamorphose, Pass and Flames.
Yeah, I mean,
And that dead ends him for the turn.
especially if you have Meddling Mage in hand.
Yeah, which he does. And then you just name Pass and Flames and Meddling Mage. If you give him the rituals.
Well, I just don't want to give. If you're gonna name Past in Flames, I want the Past in Flames to be a card that's in his hand, not in his graveyard.
Yep. Because he can't go anywhere with this. He's already played his land for the turn. He fetched immediately. The attacks aren't good either.
Yeah, I mean he deals some damage.
Yeah, because Mare is making Noble Hierarch a 1/2, and Thalia is a 3/2 first striker. Thalia's already great right now, but
Yeah, and you can't lose your reducers because then you're back to neutral on reducers versus Thalia.
yeah, or worse,
Right.
if you lose them both. So we're gonna head back over to Collins. He'll draw a card.
Now Collins has perfect information on his Meddling Mage.
And Meddling Mage got a okay.
Or static, or that.
Okay.
I don't even know what's better. What do you think's better? I'm not sure. I mean,
I actually don't know which better.
They're both really good looking
Yeah.
lines. I think you Meddling Mage first and then you Static Caster the next turn.
Yeah.
But if you Static Caster first and then Meddling Mage, that's good too.
What if you do both in one turn? What about that?
Oh, if you got a land, yeah, sure. It looks good too.
Meddling Mage is going to likely name Past in Flames. Trigger there. This matchup was horrible for Storm. Just horrible.
I don't know if Simmons has pursued the best possible path. I also don't know if it would have mattered.
Yeah, that's the thing for me. I'm not sure it would have mattered. I don't think going to empty against this deck is right at all.
Yep.
This is the second time I think we've basically seen this.
I've lost count of the number of times seeing just here comes 8 goblins and the other person's like I have a 2/2 and a 1/2.
Yeah.
It is too much.
There's a vial, and Staticaster's going to show up here. Not this turn, but next turn, and it's going to be a doozy. Pass that turn back. We're going to Scott. He's got a Pass and Flames he can't cast. He's got a couple lands that don't matter, and he's got a Manamorphose that he's probably got to cash in now to hope to find something of relevance. Now, if he Manamorphoses into like a Lightning Bolt or something, it's fine. I mean, at least it allows him to like do stuff.
Well, the problem is I think that the only thing that he can get going here is the best case scenario is he just makes a bunch of more goblins.
Oh, nice. Those will all die.
And then they're just, you know.
Yeah. You know. Draw card. That's a land. Nope. Spire Bluff Canal. Been a minute since we've seen Meddling Mage. You know? Pakula's got to be pretty happy right now. I know he's watching.
Well,
he's always watching.
He feels personally aggrieved by people playing with the newer art.
Well, Collins is young, you know, he doesn't know. It's okay.
Well, he actually is mismatched, which might be more offensive than just all new art.
Sure.
Like, don't tell me you couldn't find any of the old ones.
Colin's gonna line up the Staticaster here, I think, in a moment. There it is. That will resolve. Trigger.
Human.
Yep. Clean those up. They're all dead. We are pretty clear for takeoff now, Champion of the Parish. Even Thalia's good to come in, too.
Sure.
Meddling Mage can hang back. Ooh, a nice little encroachment here by Collins.
Yes.
Take over that battlefield, buddy.
Well, Simmons doesn't have a whole lot.
Yeah,
you know.
you're about 2 turns away.
He's got space to spare.
He's about 2 turns away from a title here, folks. And he has made it look laughably easy all weekend long. I mean, I'm trying to think of a time where we have seen a deck, an unknown deck, destroy people like this. Or a relatively unknown deck. You know, I know that some people have written about this deck. There's a little bit of it of Magic Online, whatever. But
ooh, empty the war.
To see, to see this, the last time I can think about it was when we were in Oakland.
2 goblins. And there they are.
Yep, there they are. I think of Ivan Jen with that Jeskai Ascendancy deck.
Yep.
Where that's the last time I've ever been like, oh boy.
Yep.
And that was like 3 years ago.
A while ago.
Yeah. Vial's up to 2. You think Mayor of Everbrook's on that weekly sale?
I don't know. It's
I don't
literally,
know.
I don't want to. It's thousands
There's
of rares.
thousands of rares.
Thousands of rares.
I have no idea. We got here freebooter. Let's check it out. I'll just take the Passive Flames.
Just take the Passive Flames.
Not only can you not cast it, I'm taking it now from you. I'm going to kill those.
He's made 10 goblins this game. None of them have attacked or blocked once.
Yeah. All of my humans will attack. And that is it. Colin Mullen is going to win this game and match. 2-0 over Scott Simmons. This is as close to a clean sweep as we have ever seen here on the SCG Tour. He went 14-0-1 through the Swiss and then broomed the elimination rounds. He is your champion here in Cincinnati, and what a dominant one.